Baltimore. 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 We have a problem, but we also have a solution. And we all are a part of that solution. So I want to thank everybody first for coming out. I want to thank everybody that's involved. Everyone, no matter who you are. You may have just found out about us on Facebook 2 minutes ago. You're all a part of the solution. I want to thank you. This is a serious day, and we're going to have a very great summer. Very great summer. So, I want to give due respect and bring on first leadership of the city so that they can address you, as you see on the news and some other outlets. But we are all here together in person, ready to move forward as one city, as one community, no matter who we are. So I want to bring first Councilman Nick Mosby.
Yes, sir. Good. Good.
Good afternoon. Come on, we can do better than that. Good afternoon. See, we do better than that when we're watching football on Sundays. We need to do the same when we're talking about our communities. Do you understand? Good afternoon. We stand here together shoulder to shoulder, understanding and knowing that it's critically important that we take back our communities and our streets. And we know that starts with the men. So I would like to salute Munir for bringing all us together and for setting this up. I grew up in a 3-bedroom household with 6 women, the only man in my household. My mother grew up without a father. We have to stop this tide. And it's critically important for us to come together and make sure that we know where we're going and what direction we're in. The women have been trying to hold up our community for far too long. Once again, the women have been trying to hold up our community for far too long. And it's with brothers like Munir with the fortitude to bring brothers together, to say enough is enough. To say I don't care if you live in East Baltimore or West Baltimore. I don't care if you're going home to a mansion or you have no idea where you're going to sleep. At the end of the day, it's about our children. And it's about those corners, it's about our neighborhood, and it's about our city. See, what we're doing today is bigger than us. It's bigger than a title like a councilman or a mayor or a Munir. It's about us coming collectively together for generations of unborn to save our communities and save our cities. The one thing I would like to say for everybody today, it's critically important that the message that we gain from today doesn't start or stop with us here. Do we understand? It doesn't start or stop with us here today. This is something that's supposed to be a springboard, a catalyst for us to move in a new direction in our cities. Whether you're from West Baltimore, East Baltimore, I don't care. We are all one community. We are all one man, and we need to stand up for our communities. Thanks for coming out, and I look to continue to partner with you in the future. Thanks, Munir.
Good evening, Baltimore.
Good evening.
We're going to do that one more time. Good evening, Baltimore.
Good evening.
That's what I like to hear. I'm City Councilman Brandon Scott, and I am here today to say that the men in Baltimore are no longer asleep. We are wide awake this evening, are we not?
Yeah.
Are we not?
Yeah.
We're going to be wide awake tomorrow, are we not?
Yeah.
There's a war going on in our streets, y'all, every day. And the war starts and ends with the men, as my colleague says. The war starts and ends mostly with our young black men. Too many of our young men do not have fathers or positive role models in their life. As many of you know, I grew up in Park Heights. But unlike my friends, I had a lot of strong men in my family. They're all here with me today. My dad, my uncles, my cousins. Everybody's here with me today. The key to our city, y'all, is repairing our family and our community structure. That is the key, nothing else. And that starts with men stepping up, getting involved, taking hold of our streets, taking hold of our families, and taking hold of our communities. That's what we're here to do today. We're here to show everyone that we mean business, not just today, not just tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, the next decade. We're going to be here, and we're going to take our city back, one by one, person by person, young man by young man. So as we're out here today, think about what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do next week to make a change in the life of a young person, what you're going to do next week to make a change in your community, because it starts with the men. Like my colleague said, we can no longer stand on the backs of the women and let them bear the brunt. We have to be what the man is supposed to be, the king, the leader, the foreseer, the provider. That's what we have to be. We can no longer be subsidiaries to our women. We can no longer teach our young men that disrespecting our women is cool. We should have honor and respect for ourselves first, for them, our families, and our community. And I want to thank all my colleagues for being here with me today. And I'm going to bring up right on point, because it wasn't a man that gave me my chance in service. It was a woman that took a chance on a poor boy from Park Heights and said, I think you can be somebody. While the men were shunning me away, while they were nervous. If y'all didn't know it, that's Joe. He always acts like that. So I'm going to bring up the 49th Mayor of Baltimore City, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake.
Good evening, Baltimore. I'm very humbled and honored to be here for so many reasons. I know that I am here as mayor, but I have so many roles this evening. On the off chance that I'm the only woman that will speak this evening, I'm going to speak from that perspective and tell you that I don't think you're going to find a woman in Baltimore, head of household, that's working 1, 2, 3 jobs, trying to make it on her own, that would say she wouldn't like some help, that she wouldn't prefer it if the man in her life was not there. To be in that role that I believe you all were destined to be. The councilmen, both of them were right. You have awakened. You understand what your role is. And speaking on behalf of the women of the city, I say thank you. Because we cannot do it alone. I know that many of you were probably raised by strong black women, strong, your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunts, your godmothers, but, sometimes I think about that song that Whitney Houston sang in The Bodyguard. I might look strong, but at night, when I go home, I'm not trying to be strong alone. That's where you come in. And we'll do it because we have to, but not because we want to. We want to be in partnership with the men in our lives, with the men in our family, with the men in our community. I know in the bottom of my heart, if things are going to turn around in our city, our friends in the press and on social media and everything else, they want a scapegoat. Oh, it's the mayor's fault. Oh, it's commissioner's fault. Oh, it's Mel Russell's fault. Oh, it's this person. If they think that one person, I don't care what position you're in, if one person is going to be able to change what's going on, to me it's just foolishness. Because while we're sitting around scapegoating, our family is dying in the street. The second you point a finger, what do they say when you're little, right? You point a finger, four pointing back at you. That's what this is about. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We have to, thank you. Right down the street over the weekend, we had a rally. It was a peace rally. The faith leaders of our city came together to say that we have to take back the street. And I said, at that point, I said, we have a problem because our young black men don't understand their value. They don't understand their wealth. Somebody told them that they were worthless, and they believed it. I said, I can tell them different. I said, but the men in our community, they need to hear it from you. These men that didn't have a man in the household need to hear it from you. So on behalf of the women of Baltimore, I'll say on behalf of me as mayor, but on behalf of the women of Baltimore, I say thank you. Thank you for standing up for your family, standing up for your community, standing up for your city, standing up for our family, the men in our community who don't know their own value, don't know that hope belongs to them, that better belongs to them. Thank you for standing up. You have a partner in me. I believe in my heart that Baltimore is meant for better, and if I had a doubt about that, it would be erased by looking out at you tonight. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
You know, I just wanted to take a second to kind of look out over this crowd and to make eye contact with this crowd. See, I didn't go to Digital Harbor High School. I didn't go to Dunbar. I didn't go to Poly. I wasn't born in Baltimore. But you know what? I have dedicated 33 years of my life to saving lives. I put my money where my mouth is. This is what I do. This is part of my life. This is not about numbers for me. I get so tired when the media comes to me and says, Commissioner, what about this number? Commissioner, what about that number? You know what goes through my mind? Is those faces that I have seen as I walk the streets of Baltimore, as I've walked the alleys, as I talked to them when I was out last night at 2 a.m. in the morning, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm seeing the kids out on the streets. This is not about numbers for me. It's about lives. This is about human beings. This is about young women, young men who are dying on these streets, not just in Baltimore, but in Chicago, in Detroit, in Philadelphia, in Oakland, in Long Beach. There's just too many black faces dying on the streets of America as a whole. This is not a game to me. This is not a rally to me. This is not a one event that we're taking place tonight. I'm not here for these cameras. I'm not here for the press. This means something to me. See, when you have the chance to look in the faces of mothers who have lost their kids, when you have the chance where you have to hug them and say, I'm sorry for the loss of your child. See, for me, I'm responsible for all 620,000 lives, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. That's my responsibility, and I take it seriously. A couple weeks ago, I stood in front of a whole room of black faces, African-American young men and one woman, 50 of them. And these were the people who were out shooting, killing, and causing havoc in our community. We sat them down and said, if you go left, this is what we're going to do. We want you to go right, and we will support you going right to help you become successful. And I looked at those faces, and some of them had cornrows, some of them had dreadlocks, some were in T-shirts, some were dressed nicely. But I looked into those faces, and I said, there's a probability, not a possibility, but a probability that a number of you will not be here at this time next year. And that is a profound message when you're looking in the faces, when you're looking at lives that you know are going to be shot, where you're going to have people shot in the head, where you're going to have people have their guts ripped out, when you're going to have people harmed in a way that we shouldn't be losing lives. This is not a game. This is not for today. If we're going to come out here and have these great speeches, if we're going to come out here and say we're going to make a difference, time for talk is over. Time for saying enough is enough is over. Time to saying a lot of different things. It's time for action. The government is not going to be the ones that solves everything here, because on this police department, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to correct the actions that we have out here on the streets. The city government is not going to have enough to do parks and recreation to make a difference to change our communities. Now, we've come out here today. Speech is good, but we need to take away when we walk away from here. Whether it's with the frats, whether it's with our karate clubs, whether it's with the ministry, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're female, it's now today. No more talk. No more conversations. because it doesn't take a whole lot for you to get a basketball and organize sports for kids to do something out there on the street. It doesn't take you a whole lot to teach a young child how to read, because we need to graduate from school at higher rates. And as the mayor said, there's enough of pointing fingers. There's enough of blaming. Today, let's start to make a difference.
I'll be real brief. As I look around, I do see some whites sprinkled. I see some of my brown brothers. I'm looking, I see frats, I see Christians, I see Muslims. I see a little bit of everything. But the one thing I see that we have in common is that we're all kings. I see a bunch of kings, y'all. I see a bunch of kings. We weren't cut from a cloth of murderers, dealers. But if we look at our lineage, our history, no matter what I'm looking at, we come from kings. I heard them say, good evening, and a few people said, hello. I'm going to do it a little different, because I'm going to go right back over here. I'm going to do it a little different. If you were at the ball game, as I heard some of my colleagues, and I thank God for the mayor, my two great friends, the councilman, my boss, but we were at the ball game. Y'all remember what Ray Lewis used to do? Any dogs in the house? I said, any dogs in the house? Any dogs in the house? The reason I say that, a real big dog, a real big trained dog knows how to protect. It doesn't hurt the innocent. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. And even though I'm looking at kings, I'm also looking at what I believe are some big dogs that know how to live right, know how to talk right. And if you ever see a big dog come from out of his house into the streets, see, we got to come out of our houses into the streets. And when you ever listen to big dog, he don't hurt nobody. But what he does when he get around the imitator dogs, them little dogs that want to be big dogs, they begin to cower. They begin to submit themselves. And I'm saying to you and my great friend, Mayor tonight, today, King's about to walk the streets. We're about to take the streets back. They should have never opened the doors and let the real big dogs out of the house, because I always say this, that is our presence. Because how many know we need each other? We don't listen. Look at your brother, say, I need you. Tell another brother, I need you. We need each other. We got one Baltimore. We need each other. So as we walk, we're walking, understanding that it is our presence. Because we've been loosened now, y'all. It is our presence that will breed and produce the reduction we want to see in our city. No more being locked up behind those church walls. No more being locked up behind the mosque. No more being locked up in our business and our homes. It's time to come out and take back our streets. Because there's some reduction that must happen, will happen, shall happen in Baltimore. Some reduction of those that think there is no hope. That junk need to get out of here. There is hope in Baltimore, somebody. Come on, somebody. There's life in Baltimore. Together, we are an army that nobody can stop us. Now let's turn this city upside right.
So, after tonight, or even before tonight, but definitely this is a great symbol. I want to say I want to say a couple things, okay? No one is going to hijack this event for your own personal cause, your ego builder, your status builder, your blame finger pointing builder. We are not here for none of your causes. We are not here for none of your purposes. We are not pointing fingers. You can't point fingers because little old me has gotten the support of the entire city to do something about a problem that we all have. So how can you point a finger? How can you say the government ain't doing this or they're not doing this? They're doing it and they're here. Who am I? But we have amassed all this energy to achieve something. We're not pointing fingers. We are looking at ourselves. This is a mirror. Tonight is a mirror. It is something to reflect on within ourselves. This is why I called all of you who I know here, including myself. We have to look at this mirror and analyze, what are we doing? Are we doing enough? And the evidence of, or the measurement of what we are doing lies in the streets. And if we have 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds getting killed, then we are not doing enough, clearly. If it is not safe for children to play, then we are not doing enough. I know you're professional. I know you're making money. I know you're cute. I know you fly. I know you all these things. But if we are not protectors, if we are not warriors, you are not men. If our communities are not safe, you are not men, period. So tonight, we raise the standard. We are raising the bar of involvement. We are raising, because we cannot continue to do the same old thing. And for some of us who are involved, we can do more, including myself. We can do more. We have to do more. Nothing is more important than the lives of our children. Not your degree, not your paycheck, not your car, not your party. Nothing is more important than the lives of our children. So while we ride around and parade through Baltimore, oh, I'm good, our little ones are not good. They are not safe. They are not healthy. This is a reflection point for us as men. So as we march, this is a march of endurance. It's 5 miles over, it's 5 miles back. I have 10 miles tonight for the families of those victims who have died. You are getting 10 miles from me, because that is nothing compared to the years of agony and pain that you will feel because you've lost your child. So I got 10 miles for you. I got 20 miles, but I think they said I was going too far. So I said, okay, I got 10 miles. So they said, Munir, look, come on, we got to go to work. No problem. I have 10 miles, no matter what it costs. If I fall, if I'm bleeding, if I'm sweaty, whatever, I will pay that price as a symbol of hope and inspiration, and to let the families know that men are here. We are here. We are growing, and we will take this city over. We will make sure our neighborhoods are safe. Our children don't have to worry about getting shot. You don't have to worry about getting shot just going to the market. That is insane. Yes. It is time for us to step up, and for every man I know in this crowd, this is a gut check. This is a gut check. You want to roll with me, you got to be a man. And the standards of manhood are only getting higher in this city. I don't care if you're busy. Make time. Spend your money. Make time. Spend your money. Let's get involved. And put your egos down. It is not about your organization tonight. It is not about you tonight. This is for the families of those who have suffered to gun violence, to violence, period. This is for the victims. My team, we have red on our faces. This is to symbolize the blood of the children who have been killed in Baltimore City. We wear their blood as a symbol. We wear their blood. Warriors must rise to turn this city around. It's 300 of us. We were watching the movie 300 earlier. We are taking these streets. And we are going to start this march. We're going to make it over. We're going to come back. I thank every member of city government, Baltimore City Police, for making this happen. I had an idea, but this had to be orchestrated. Resources had to be orchestrated, and they made it happen. So my streets, there's no excuses. We got to take over. Thank you.
Team 6. Can you hear me? Hey, Munir, tell us where to go. Tell us where to go, Munir.
Listen up, listen up, listen up. I'm sorry. Listen up, listen up. Listen up. Listen up. We're going to march Couple things. Real quick, we have water stations on Charles Street. We have water stations at Milton. You are going to follow the commands of my team. We're going to make sure this march is orderly. We're going to make sure we are marching with some order. Listen, there's several elements. We know, come on, North Avenue, we know what we're encountering. We are marching with peace. With peace. We engage with peace. We're going to amass here on this street, and we are going to take ourselves over. Our sisters, our women, are going to see us off as we go into battle. It is not about who's in front or who's at the end or who's next to a camera. Just get in where you fit in. Let's make this happen.
McCray. Mr. McCray. Mr. McCray. My hands are tied up.
I see.
You screaming.
Hey, man, stop clowning. I gotta run in my bike.
That we need to be on the right side.